morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Anastha Acharya. The top stories first. Nepali Congress unveils election schedule for 14th National Convention, then list of General Convention representatives to be announced later today. Government announces 6 districts in Sudur Paschim as crisis hit zones. The status will remain in force till mid-February 2022. Senior citizens to get booster dose, those stocking full dose of Ferrocell to get the booster dose. Military helicopter crashes in Tamil Nadu state, kills at least 13 people including Defence Chief General Bipin Rawat. And Barcelona out of Champions League after defeat against Bayern Munich. 5 times European champions drop down to Europa League now. And now the news in detail. Nepali Congress has made public its election schedule as part of its national convention starting from this Friday. As per the Central Election Commission of the party, the name list of the General Convention representatives will be made public today. A report. Candidacy for the new Executive Committee of Nepali Congress has been fixed for 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow, while the claim and objection of the candidacy can be made from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. the same day. The first name list of the candidates would be published from 9 p.m. to midnight tomorrow. One can withdraw the candidacy by 11 a.m. Saturday. The final name list of the candidates will be published by 12:15 the same day. The voting for the new leadership in the General Convention begins from 8 p.m. on Sunday, according Election Committee Coordinator Gopal Krishna Ghimire. The vote counting for the party president will begin immediately after completion of voting. The party informed that any further program on election would be made public at the voting center itself. The inaugural session of the General Convention would be held in Prikuti Mandap on December 10, while voting would be held at Prikuti Mandap and Rashtriya Sabha Griha. The Central Working Committee of the party has a provision of a president, 2 vice presidents, 2 general secretaries and 8 joint secretaries. Election for those posts seems imminent. However, treasurers is elected from among the elected central members. Around 4,700 General Convention representatives taking part in the event. Has announced 6 hill districts in the Sudur Paschim province as natural disaster-hit areas. A high-level government team headed by Minister for Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation Prem Bahadur Ale on October 20 visited the district to assess the loss of lives and property caused by floods and landslides triggered by off-season rains and recommended the government to identify the areas as the crisis-hit districts. Upon the recommendation, the Ministry of Home Affairs has announced Dodelthura, Bajang, Bazura, Darchula, Baidari and Doti as the districts affected by the crisis. The status will remain in place till mid-February 2022 as per the Disaster Risk Mitigation and Management Act 2017 BS. Of the 9 districts in Sudur Paschim, Bajang and Doti had suffered massive losses of lives. Unseasonal rains in last October had resulted in the deaths of 37 people in the province and the loss of property worth billions of rupees. The second Central Committee meeting of the CP and UML is to take place in Bhaktapur. According to party office, the venue for the meeting has been switched to Bhaktapur due to the space issue at the regular venue in Lalitpur-based Tulsilal Memorial Foundation. The meeting is to be organized at the German home in Gothagar. Formation of the Standing Committee, Politburos and other several departments are the agenda of the meeting planned for December 11 and 12. The party's 10th General Convention, held from November 26 to 30, had elected a 301 members Central Committee, re-electing KP Sharma as the party chairperson. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The Ministry of Health and Population is to administer booster dose of vaccine against coronavirus to senior citizens who are already vaccinated with full dose of vaccine. The ministry, on the basis of recommendation of National Vaccine Administrator Committee, is going to provide booster dose to the senior citizen above 60 years. Chief of Family Welfare Division of the Department of Health Services, Dr. Vivek Kumar Lal, said that senior citizens above 60 years and those already vaccinated with full dose of Ferrocell have started getting booster dose. At a regular press brief organized at the ministry on Wednesday, he said that the WHO has recommended to administer booster dose to those citizens who have already received full dose of Ferrocell vaccine and are above 60 years. Meanwhile, the government yesterday confirmed 255 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 823,357. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, altogether 805,205 infected persons have recovered from the disease in the country. The death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 11,547 after the virus claimed 2 more lives yesterday. Nepal is currently among top 47 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. Postal tickets bearing the image of Rashtrakavi Madhav Prasad Ghimire have been published in recognition to his contribution of Nepali literature. Minister for Communication and Information Technology Gyanendra Bahadur Karki unveiled the new tickets in honor of the late poet. On the occasion, Minister Karki said that poet Ghimire took Nepal's national glory to a new height. Born in Lamjung on September 23, 1919, poet Ghimire had died on August 18, 2020. Ghimire is also known as the poet representing the trend of Romanticism. Ghimire was confirmed for the title of Rashtrakavi 18 years ago. And now the news from economic front. The Ministry of Labour, Employment and Social Security has formed 3 separate task forces in a bid to address the problems that persist in the creation of employment opportunities within the country and in the foreign employment, a report. The task forces have been formed under the leadership of Joint Secretaries Badrinath Adhikari, Ramchandra Thakal and Sesh Narayan Paudel. The objectives include making labor administration efficient, creating employment opportunities within the country, producing skilled workforce and addressing the challenges in the foreign employment sector, said the ministry. The task forces have been tasked with providing advices for running skill development trainings through an inaugurated structure, managing foreign employment and making policy-level reforms and labor diplomacy effective. The task force will submit separate reports to the ministry with necessary recommendations within 15 days. Joint Secretary Adhikari leads a 6-member task force comprising representatives from various ministries and the National Planning Commission. It deals with the creation of job opportunities and vocational and skill enhancement training. Similarly, another 6-member task force led by Joint Secretary Dhakal will look after the organizational situation of the ministry and its subordinate bodies. Also, another 7-member task force led by Joint Secretary Paudel will deal with foreign employment management and its overall work system. Now the international news. India's Defence Chief General Bipin Rawat, his wife, and 11 other people have been killed after a military helicopter they were traveling in crashed in a southern state of Tamil Nadu, the Indian Air Force has said. The IAF said in a Twitter post the tragic accident took place near the town of Kunur at noon on Wednesday. The Russian-made Mi-17V5 helicopter was on its way from an Air Force base to the Defense Services Staff College when it crashed. The reason for the crash was not immediately known, and authorities said they have opened an investigation. The Air Force said one officer, Group Captain Varun Singh, survived and is being treated in a military hospital. Reporting from New Delhi, Al Jazeera's Elizabeth Puranam said the trip to the Defense Services Staff Colleges was not supposed to be a very long ride, but this is the various mountainous region with a lot of forest. Videos broadcast on Indian news channels showed the helicopter in flames in the Destiny forested area near the college as locals tried to pull out the fire and remove bodies from the wreckage. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Five-time European champions Barcelona lost to Bayern Munich to miss out on the knockout stages of the Champions League for the first time in 17 years. Barca have not been absent from the last 16 since 2003 and 4 when they did not qualify for the competition at all. This exit continues a miserable campaign for the Spanish Giants after financial issues forced them to let club legend Lionel Messi leave on the free transfer and then join Paris Saint-Germain in the summer. Barca needed to match Benfica result to advance, but the Portuguese side won 2-0 at home to Dynamo Kiev, leaving Xavi's main third and facing the Europa League knockout round playoff. The game played in snowy conditions and without fans because of a rise in COVID-19 cases in Germany had got away from the victors of half-time. Bayern scored their first when Robert Lewandowski's cross found Thomas Muller and his header just crossed the line before they doubled their lead thanks to a superb 30-yard strike from former Manchester City forward Leroy Sane. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. Nepali Congress unveils election schedule for 14th National Convention. Name list of General Convention representatives to be announced later today. Government announces 6 districts in Sudur Paschim as crisis hit zones. The statute will remain in force till mid-February 2022. Senior citizens to get booster dose, those taking full dose of Ferrocell to get the booster dose. Military helicopter crashes in Tamil Nadu state, kills at least 13 people including Defence Chief General Bipin Rawat. And Barcelona out of Champions League after defeat against Bayern Munich. 5 times European champions drop down to Europa League now. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.